Hello my friends, it's Lorraine here from the Great British Veg Plot, and today I want to share with you how I sow broad bean seeds. So I've come across these beautiful people called She Grows Veg. You'll find them on the internet, but I have bought from them some very they do unusual sorts of veg. You'll see me growing some over the season. Never done it before, so we'll see what their seeds are like. But these are broad beans I'm going to sow this morning. Dreadnought broad beans. Here's the packet, and they just look like regular broad beans, but they are small white beans that are meant to be not too shelly. You know, some of them, sometimes broad beans can be feel like they've got a shell on them. So how I do this, so I have got in my pot some loo roll inners. So just broad beans and peas don't like their roots being disturbed. So they're not easy to transplant. And if, like me, you have mice and critters out in your garden, you don't necessarily want to sow your lovely seeds and then have them dug up and eaten by them. So I sow all my peas and broad beans, sweet peas as well, in this way, because that way I can pick up the whole tube, put it in the ground, and it's all kind of biodegradable. So the tube is obviously open at both ends, so just using my fingers I fold this over. I've tried all sorts of fancy things, but you know, this works perfect. Some of the soil will go through the bottom, but a lot of it won't. So my compost is homegrown compost, sieved. I use that term loosely, but a big bit's taken out of it, and then perlite. I mix it 50-50 because I find then it's nice and free draining for the seeds. I literally fill this up with the compost. So then that is filled up with compost. Just kind of tap it like this so that it goes down, and then I pop it in this container, which is just a plastic container from the supermarket, and I just put it in there, and I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, about 17 in there. So broad bean seeds are like broad beans. They're very large and beautiful, and what I do is I generally put one per pot. If I'm doing peas for shoots, I might put 2 per pot. If I'm doing runner beans, I might put 2 per pot. But broad beans need a bit of space, and they're hungry plants. So just literally stick the broad bean in the pot, and I push it down to kind of the depth of my thumb. So that's all I'm doing here. Push them down. You'll see there's a little scar on the end of each one, and if you put that facing down, that's where the roots are going to come out. So that kind of just helps the little seed orientate itself. I have a few more seeds left in this packet, so probably about 10 or 15. So I'm going to store those in a cool, dry place, and then we'll be able to sow some more a little bit later on. But for now, these are filled up, and you can see as I've put the seed in, there's a little dip. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a bit of compost on the top to just fill those up to the top, so that I know that the seeds are well protected and well covered. There we go. Lovely. I will label those and then put them, they'll go in my laundry room in the house, because although they don't need heat to germinate, it will be better for the temperatures, particularly nighttime temperatures at this time of year. We're talking about February in the UK. The nighttime temperatures are low still, and we're still getting frost, of course. So these will do better germinating at a more even temperature. So that's broad beans. That's my first job for today.